This is a Fox News alert. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. President Obama's former defense secretary has scathing criticism of the commander-in-chief. Robert Gates is harshly questioning President Obama's leadership and commitment to the Afghanistan war from the start of the surge he ordered. And shocking political revelation that could potentially have 2016 implications. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry is live tonight with the story that everyone, at least in Washington, is talking about. Good evening, Ed.
Good evening, Brett. You know, the president was hoping to start this year by reasserting his leadership credentials, shaking off a rocky start on health care, refocusing on the economy. But tonight he's dealing with a rare rebuke from a former top leader of his war cabinet. In a new book, former Defense Secretary Robert Gates takes direct aim at President Obama's leadership. Gates writes in his memoir due out next week, in excerpts first reported by the Washington Post and independently confirmed by Fox, he doubted the president's commitment to the Afghanistan war, writing the president, quote, doesn't believe in his own strategy and doesn't consider the war to be his. For him, it's all about getting out. While Gates was a holdover from the Bush administration, he won effusive praise for Mr. Obama at his retirement ceremony.
A humble American patriot, a man of common sense and decency. Quite simply, one of our nation's finest public servants.
In the book, Gates also hits Vice President Biden hard, writing, quote, all too early in the Obama administration, suspicion and distrust of senior military officers by senior White House officials, including the president and vice president, became a big problem for me as I tried to manage the relationship between the commander-in-chief and his military leaders. And in an explosive anecdote that could have repercussions for 2016, Gates recounts a private conversation between then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and the president, writing, quote, Hillary told the president that her opposition to the 2007 surge in Iraq had been political because she was facing him in the Iowa primary. The president conceded vaguely that opposition to the Iraq surge had been political. To hear the two of them making these admissions and in front of me was as surprising as it was dismaying. The new distraction came today as the battle lines for the midterm elections came into sharper focus, with the president laying out the Democratic campaign strategy, suggesting some Republicans are abandoning the long-term unemployed by trying to attach strings to 3 more months of unemployment benefits.
This is not an abstraction. These are not statistics.
While Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell reached into his own campaign playbook and launched another attack on the health care law, charging the president is just trying to shift attention away from the botched rollout.
I'd like to propose that we be allowed, my side be allowed to offer an amendment to pay for these benefits by lifting the burden of Obamacare's individual mandate for 1 year.
Majority Leader Harry Reid pushed that aside, and the Senate passed their first procedural hurdle to extend unemployment benefits for 3 months, though the 6 Senate Republicans who supported the measure say they want other budget offsets to cover the $6 billion before they will back final passage of the new benefits. And Speaker John Boehner declared his chamber will not extend benefits unless the president agrees to attach a plan that puts people back to work. White House spokesman Jay Carney said there should be no strings because Republicans have previously supported extending benefits on an emergency basis without pay-fors. He suggested further delays will mean people who are unemployed in McConnell's home state won't be able to pay their heating bills during the record cold snap.
Louisville, Kentucky, before I walked out here today, was 7 degrees Fahrenheit. 7 degrees.
McConnell fired back, people need more benefits because the president's economic policies have failed.
Record numbers of long-term unemployed, record numbers on food stamps, people losing their health care plans, others seeing the premiums shoot up when they can least afford it, and now another call, one more call for a government fix.
The president's aides, though, are not taking the blame.
But he's now had 5 years. Does he bear some responsibility for long-term unemployment?
The president believes that everyone who's sent to Washington by their representatives bears responsibility for taking action to help the economy and help the American people.
Now, breaking just in the last moment, the White House has finally commented on Secretary Gates' book. Caitlin Hayden, a spokeswoman for the National Security Council, basically takes the high road, says the president greatly values Secretary Gates' service to the nation, but she does push back on this notion in the book, Gates' allegation that in his estimation, Vice President Biden was on the wrong side of every major national security decision in recent years. Caitlin Hayden saying, quote, the president disagrees with Secretary Gates' assessment from his leadership on the Balkans and the Senate to his efforts to end the war in Iraq. Joe Biden has been one of the leading statesmen of his time and has helped advance America's leadership in the world. President Obama relies on his good counsel every day. You can tell from that statement that this book is going to have major reverberations around here, Brett.
Definitely, for at least a few days. Ed Henry live on the North Lawn. Ed, thank you.
Thank you.